I'm so childish, but this car sounds like so much fun. What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to do a quick video talking about this little guy here, and specifically Integrated Engineering's popcorn tune or crackle tune or pops and bangs tune, whatever you want to refer to it as. We're going to cover that today in a quick driving video. I have the car mic'd up in the engine bay beside the intake. That one's just kind of so you can enjoy those intake sounds. I also have a microphone on the back of the car, slightly above the exhaust in the back trunk. So basically I'm just going to drive around, let you guys hear how it sounds, and also give you my opinions, thoughts, and experience with this tune. Let you know what I think. Alright guys, so some quick background on this car. I am stage 2, which means I have a downpipe, ECU tune, TCU tune, and a cold air intake, and I have gone with Integrated Engineering for all of these parts. And basically with Integrated Engineering's tuning, you can flash the car yourself. You can do it from a laptop. You can also do it from your phone via Bluetooth. So when it comes to the crackle tune or the pops and bangs tune, it takes about a minute to flash the car from either having the tune enabled or disabled. And for a long time, I didn't actually run this tune because I kind of got tired of it. It was a little bit obnoxious, but I also had the fear of prematurely wearing the turbo on the car. And the downpipe that I have in place is the IE downpipe. It's the Integrated Engineering high flow catted downpipe. So having those crackles going off, you know, if you're doing them all the time, is probably gonna blow that cat out. Now for the tune itself, the way that it's supposed to operate according to Integrated Engineering is that the crackles will only happen when you're in sport or dynamic mode. And from my experience, that's not actually really accurate. So right now, I actually have the car in comfort mode. And the reason I have it in comfort mode is because I want to show you guys that you can actually get these crackles to happen in comfort mode. So the other criteria for these crackles to happen is the car needs to be either downshifted at or above 3,000 RPMs, or you can just let off the throttle at above 3,000 RPMs. So because of my exhaust setup, I have the IE downpipe, as I just mentioned, but I also have a vibrant bottle resonator in place of the stock resonator. So the exhaust is a lot more toned down. And I have noticed that because of that, I have to kind of be closer to 4,000 RPMs to get the crackles to happen, which I'm actually happy with because it makes it so that the crackles are really only happening if I'm driving very spirited, and they're not happening with my day-to-day driving. So right now we're just cruising in comfort. I'm around 2,000 RPMs. I'm gonna let off the throttle. Here, I'll get on it and I'll let off so you guys can hear that there's no crackles happening in that 2,000 RPM range. So. Right, nothing. I can downshift at 2,000, nothing. That's 3,000 now. So I think here, if I downshift at like 32, you should hear some. There you go. So maybe they're not as loud. I'll actually have to listen back to the audio myself to get a better idea of what they sound like. But yeah, this is 4,000 RPMs in comfort. I'm gonna rev it up a bit and let off. And I can hear that they're happening. So, just gonna take this corner. So that's the first thing that I wanna mention. If you are in comfort mode, or sorry, even if you're regular drive mode, this is gonna happen. And according to Integrated Engineering, the crackles are only supposed to happen in dynamic or sport. So, not exactly true, but it's not really false, I guess, either, because if you're driving the car in automatic mode and you're not in manual mode, then if you're driving in comfort, the car's never going to be revving up to 4,000 RPMs. So technically those crackles are not going to happen. Whereas if you have the car in sport, you know, the revs are going to hang a lot higher, and it will downshift at like 30,000, 3,500 for you, which is going to get those crackles to happen a lot more often. So this is just comfort cruising, you know, unless I'm aggressively downshifting in manual mode, I'm not gonna get the crackles, right? So I'm gonna put it in dynamic now, and we will see the difference in how the exhaust and those crackles behave. All right, so I'm just gonna rev it out in second here. So I'm at 3,000 right now. I'm gonna go up to 3,700, and I'm gonna let off. Okay, I'm gonna rev it, I'm gonna let off. So one thing that I actually really like about IE's crackle tune is that, and again, this is kind of maybe a little more specific to my current exhaust setup, because when I had a res delete paired with my downpipe, it crackled a lot more aggressively, and it crackled a lot more. Like they would last a little longer, and the pops were a lot louder. So with this current setup, with this vibrant resonator, the crackles, they will last up to like 3 seconds, which for me is actually kind of borderline pushing it a little bit, I think, but they're not as aggressive. I will only get a loud pop the odd time. It's not happening like frequently. And I do feel like with like kind of the random factor of these crackles, it does feel like those pops are happening, you know, at the right times, I guess, if that makes sense. They're kind of sporadic, and when they do happen, it's kind of like more like a surprise for me, you know, as opposed to just like every time I let off the throttle when I'm revving it out a bit, the car's like popping excessively. I personally didn't want, and this is one of the reasons that I didn't run the tune for a long time, I didn't want a car that was going to be aggressively popping all over town and drawing a lot of attention. I more so just wanted it, especially for the summer season, because our summers here are very short. I wanted to have it there, so, you know, the odd time that I do want to drive spirited, I can just add a little more excitement to the drive, I guess. So overall, I think this tune is really nice. If you want a crackle tune. Side note, this intake, the integrated engineering intake, is absolutely amazing. It's on the loud side. Obviously, you guys are going to hear that from the footage, I'm guessing, because I have that mic in the engine bay. But yeah, getting back on the topic of the video, the crackle tune overall, I think, is really solid. It's not too much, you know, it's just enough, and with the exception of it not behaving the way that the integrated engineering says it should behave. And I've actually seen people on Reddit and some other forums saying that they went away from integrated engineering because the crackle tune didn't operate the way it was supposed to, and it was happening when in all modes. But if you have the understanding that, you know, if you're driving in comfort but you're in manual and you're doing aggressive downshifting, then you're gonna get crackles, right? And for me, that's not an issue, because when I'm in comfort mode, I'm in comfort mode because I want to drive chill, and I'm not gonna be putting it in manual and ripping it. You know, I don't see the point of doing that. If I want to rip the car, I'm gonna have it in dynamic so I can get the benefit of having the valves open and having the full exhaust sound. So I'm just gonna finish this video off with a couple pulls and kind of just let those crackles ring out for you so you can get a better idea of how they sound. And yeah, if you guys are interested in this content, feel free to hit that subscribe to follow along. Oh, sensors are tripping out. I do post mainly content around my modified Audi S3, but I am going to be expanding the content on the channel to post content around other things. So if you're interested, follow along, hit the like, leave me a comment, you know, positive or negative feedback, everything's welcome. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and hopefully this was helpful to one or two of you, and I'll see you all in the next video.